It's 1 o'clock in the morning. You're lying down and you're in a semi-sleep because you've learned as a caregiver to sleep lightly. The house is settled, the house is quiet, and then all of a sudden you hear these footsteps that are moving down the hall. And you get up in a hurry, not because you're rested and you're ready to get up, but because your body has learned to not fully settle. You become a light sleeper. And then as you listen, you hear a drawer open. You hear the door to your loved one's room creaking open. And then a voice calls your name. And it sounds a little fearful. It sounds a little confused. They're afraid. So you jump out of bed and you say, "I'm here." And you guide your loved one back to their bed again. And then you reassure your loved one, "I'm here." And as you lay back down, you stare at the ceiling, and then that nagging thought hits you again. Why am I doing this by myself? No help, no backup, no one to call when I have a hard night, no one to just come over when I'm exhausted. It's just me. I know, doing all of this while others come by at their leisure, they continue to live their own lives, or they even never show up because they claim they don't know what to say or can't come inside the house because your mom died there. That was what my family said. It must be nice sitting on the sidelines, I wondered. In today's episode, I'm going to focus on the solo caregiver. I'm going to talk about thriving even when that village or your family or your friends are nowhere to be found. Today's episode is called "When It's All on You," the silent weight of solo caregiving. And I know you may be grieving the village that you once expected. So we're going to talk about not only how to do it alone, but also the why. Why does it hurt so much when the family or the village doesn't show up? You're grieving the loved one's changes and the support system you thought would not just say what they do, but actually would do it, take action, keep their word. I know it could be siblings who've opted just not to help, or family who call and all they say is, "What does he need?" And then after you tell them, they still don't show up. But it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad, because caregivers learn to lower their expectations. But it doesn't help that the empty chairs are just a reminder of who's not there. And just focus on yourself. So let's name this reality. Because solo caregiving is a reality. Solo caregiving is that invisible role that caregivers sometimes have to carry. Maybe you're an only child. Maybe your siblings live out of state. Maybe your siblings have just chosen not to be involved at all. Maybe the family dynamics or the family dysfunction has made it clear that you're going to be the one handling this one on your own. But the hard truth is, no matter what it is, the hard truth is that even when your family or friends say things like, "Let me know if you need anything," what you need is someone to show up, someone to be present without being asked. And that rarely occurs. So you become that one person who does it all. You become the nurse, you're the scheduler, you're the advocate, you're the decision maker, you're the supporter, you're the housekeeper. And you do it all just to keep things together. But I know that weight is heavy, because not only is it physical, but it's also emotional, it's also mental, and it's very lonely. It takes an emotional toll on a caregiver. And caregivers don't often verbalize the resentment that they feel, especially when you see a friend who has a sick loved one that they're caring for and their family chips in and yours doesn't. That doesn't help. Not only does a caregiver feel guilty, but they're resentful. And then they start to second guess themselves. Am I doing this right? Am I doing enough? But the silence of not having anyone there with you is overwhelming. Because nobody's checking on the caregiver. No one's asking how you are doing. And then what happens is your needs slowly begin to just fade. But you keep on going because stopping is not an option. Now let's reframe solo caregiving a little bit. Because just because you're handling things on your own, it doesn't mean that you're supposed to do it without support. And support may not look just like family. So you may have to seek it from other places. Maybe that may be a local caregiving agency. It might be an online caregiving support group. It may be a neighbor. Maybe it's just hiring help for someone to just come in and clean house for you once a week or once every couple of weeks. And if you do that, please make sure you discuss that with your loved one so that they're on board and they understand another stranger may be coming into the house. But if none of this is available to you, then I want you to start with small steps. Because support can also look like just giving yourself permission. Like giving yourself permission to set boundaries. Give yourself permission to take a break and not feel guilty about it. Give yourself permission to carry a lighter load, to prioritize what needs to be done right away, and some other things may go to the next day or the next week or the next month. And then also give yourself permission to say that everything doesn't have to be perfect. Everything doesn't have to be done just the way you think it should be. All the T's crossed, all the I's dotted. It may not work that way. So how else do we reframe solo caregiving? I want to help you to build a village of your choosing. And I know that you think that your village can only be family and friends. No, your village can extend beyond family and friends, and I'm going to show you how. I know you want to know how you're going to do that. And so the first thing is maybe build a micro village. And who's in that micro village? It could be a neighbor. It could be the barber. It could be someone at the beauty salon. It could be maybe a doctor who just knows your dad. It could be a pharmacist. Get to know the pharmacist. So that's your micro village. And then you have a professional village, which you can also put the doctor in the professional village as well. But make sure that you know that doctor, you know the medications. Because you may be the one to talk to that doctor and say, look, I am the sole caregiver of my loved one. So I need to know about the medications. I need to know about the treatments. I need to know about the resources that might be available to him. I need to know everything about everything. And if there are other professionals available, like maybe a physical therapist, any other people you can put in that professional village, maybe a nurse. And then don't forget your digital village. Build a digital village. You may find caregiver support groups online. They may be able to relate to you. They'll be able to answer some of your questions. Because believe me, people are posting late at night as well. And then this podcast. You can make the Empowered Caregiver podcast a part of your digital village, a place where you can come and listen to real talk, honest talk, and you can even go to Insight Timer for some resets. So in addition to building a village of your choosing, I want you to create yourself a solo safety net. Because if you fall apart, everything else is going to fall apart too. So that safety net may include just having an emergency plan. Do you have a list of emergency phone numbers on your refrigerator that someone can contact those people in case something happens to you? Who do you call in case of an emergency? Do you call someone at church? Do you have a friend you can contact? Have yourself an emergency plan, and only you know what's in that plan. But by all means, make sure that you have a contact list in that plan. Next is going to be that 5-minute reset that I was just talking about that I put on Insight Timer for you to access. You'll be able to leave the room even if you can't leave the house. And it's only 5 minutes. It's going to help you to reset and to recharge yourself even after a hard day. So after building these villages and having your safety net, I want to give you also some practical anchors, because these are going to help you to be your own anchor. Create yourself a bare minimum list, because on those challenging and those hard days, I want you to just focus on what you have to do and let everything else wait. Because you can't function at the same level when you're overwhelmed and you're exhausted and you're challenging, and you're having a hard day. So you are able to choose the things that you have to do in that day. That's your bare minimum list. Next is build yourself a micro support system. And all that is really just identifying 1 or 2 people who you can call when you need something, when you need some help in case of emergency. Just 1 or 2 people. And then schedule care for yourself. Go to a doctor's appointment. Take a short walk. If you get a caregiver to come in your home, maybe go and sit in your car. Go to a park and sit in your car for about 30 minutes. And then the next thing you can do is change your language. Stop beating yourself up. Instead of saying, I should be doing more, try saying, I'm doing what I can with what I have. Give yourself some grace, because what you're doing does matter, even if no one has told you that lately. Your patience matters. The compassion you show your loved one, that matters. Showing up matters. Working while you're tired and even while you're sick, that matters. So not only does what you're doing matter, but you matter. As a caregiver, as a person, you matter also. So I gave you all of these resources to build a village, to create a safety net, to help you to be your own anchor, because I know how it feels. And I want to just say thank you for being here with me today. And if this episode resonated with you, if you are a solo caregiver or you know someone who is, please share this with them. And also don't forget to go over to Insight Timer and check out the reset that I've made available to you for solo caregivers. And remember that although you're doing this alone, you're not invisible. I see you. And I am so glad that you didn't give up. Until next time, take care of yourself and know that you're not by yourself. Build yourself a village.